That woman that drank the wine, she didn't live next door. She lived in the next
Across the
house.
street?
No, no, I'm talking about on this
Oh,
side.
okay.
The one that drank the wine was 3 houses down this way.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna go over there and knock on her door.
I want to say her name's Shirley, but it's not Shirley.
I can't remember it. I should have brought it. I wasn't planning on coming over here, but I wanted to get a shot of that house because they used to live there. That's the only thing.
Well, that
And then I knew somebody from across the street knew her. This could be across. That could be. That could be.
Yeah.
And I forgot the name.
Because
It's probably that one down there. What you're talking
here it
about?
is. Hey, the lady that you were talking about, that what's her name that used to drink wine? That used to drink wine all the time and vodka. Who? Beverly. Beverly. What was her last name? Shoemaker. Oh, and what's the lady over here that gives? That did you say is real nosy? I can't think of. Deanne. Okay. I was just curious because I was just curious. Anyway, how long do you think? Yeah, I was being nosy. How long is it going to be before you come home? You're already through? Good. I don't think I have any. I think I picked up the last 2 that I need to be picked up. But if you want to check, I guess you could. But I wouldn't necessarily if I was you. Waste of time. Yes. Sit on it. I know it, but you know, he can grab hold of those locks and easily push them up with his mouth.
I'm looking at Darlie and Darren Routier's house over on Bond Street. Is across the street there.
Okay, did you get that?
What?
Their names?
Beverly Shoemaker.
Shoemaker.
Does she live over there?
No, she lives over here.
On this, it'd be this house.
No, not this one. The next one.
1, 2, 3.
Yep.
And then there's another lady that may know her right there with the chairs, right?
Yes.
Well, I appreciate talking to you. If you look at my channel,
Tell me what it is again.
just type in BryanSt.John.
B-R-Y or B-R-I?
Yeah, B-R-Y. Or you can type in BryanSt.John, Darlie Routier, and it comes right up.
Okay, good.
But I'm telling you, I've got a foul mouth,
Oh,
and they make me mad. So there's F-bombs, and
you couldn't be any worse than it is.
Well, I'll just get mad because they lie about these kids in the ground. It just ticks me off so bad. I don't normally do that.
That's still so sad.
It is.
And so the dad remarried.
He remarried the woman that he met before Darlie.
I didn't know he met
Her name is Cindy Black.
Cindy Black.
And he built this ranch out in Lubbock called the R&R Ranch. 1.5 million. He sold it for $869, but like I said, he owns Netcom Communications in Lubbock. He still looks the same. Darren's kind of goofy.
Yeah.
He was kind of weird, but I think she put him in a bad spot. He wanted to believe she didn't do it.
But still, it's your kids. How can you?
You know how weird they are? They played Gangster's Paradise at the funeral. You know that song?
No.
If you listen to it, it's totally inappropriate. It's about killing.
So was the Bubbles at the
silly string?
The silly string.
Well, if you watch the way she was acting, I'm going to tell you something. If you see it, just watch the way she was acting. Smiling, and she did that interview and she goes, if you knew Devin and Damon like we know Devin, you would know that they're in heaven having the biggest birthday party ever.
Yeah.
Smiling. And Joe Munoz brought it up that, they were looking at, it might be an inside job. And she goes, we're not going to go into that. And then she steps away. She goes, gossip is the most evil thing in the world. And unfortunately, there's nothing you can do about it. 10 feet away was her kids in the ground. That's the most evil thing. They didn't mention anything about a man coming in the house. Nothing.
Well, I'm glad that it was Jim's idea to plant that, right?
Yes.
And
14 hours of video on it. And they say that in that video, Darlie's crying and falling down on the ground and just inconsolable. Darlie Key, her mom's got a copy of that tape. She never releases it. The prosecutor said, well, if you got that tape, let's see it. Let's enter it in. They didn't want to because there's no falling down and crying and hollering. None of it.
Well, what they showed on TV, she wasn't falling down crying.
Nope. That was a silly, but it was supposed to have happened before that.
Oh.
I'll give you a secret on that silly string video where she looks so content, relieved, is because before they got there, Jimmy Patterson said, I want to meet you. I got some information for you. So they met at the Home Depot before they went to Rest Haven, and he fibbed to her. He said, we found some stuff under her fingernails, and we're going to have an arrest real soon. But he didn't. They didn't find anything under her fingernails, but Darlie thought that she was going to get away with it because he let her go. And that was about an hour before the silly string video. So she's all happy thinking she got away with it.
Oh, no.
Yeah, next time you see it, you'll see it now what I'm talking about.
Well, you know, when anything goes on in Rowlett really big or bad now, I don't ever see the cops that I knew before.
Yeah, well, it's been so long, you know.
Is that why? Because they just don't...
Well, like I said, they've moved up.
They moved up.
You know, if you're a sergeant, you don't have to be on the beat so much.
Yeah.
But Patterson is a lieutenant, and he goes around training officers now. So, and I told him, I said, I thought you was going to retire last year. He said, there ain't no way. He said, I'm going to die right here in this office.
I thought Grant, did Grant retire or did he get fired or what?
He doesn't work for him anymore, and I never spoke to him, but I just read his testimony. I know who he is. I know that within about 40 minutes of being on that scene, he knew exactly what happened. They try to blame that on James Cron for walking in there and saying, you know, he's the guy with the white hair. He's a specialist. And he got on the scene, and he's looking at this, and he's looking at that, and they asked him his opinion. He said, well, all this indicates to me is that there was no intruder in here. He said that 29 years ago.
Yeah.
How much evidence of an intruder you got today? They try to make James Cron look like he's not qualified. He's a fingerprint guy, but actually, he was the lieutenant commander of the crime scene investigations for Dallas police for years. If you watch Lee Harvey Oswald walking around, James Cron is in there. He was one of the turnkeys.
Really?
You know how they paraded Oswald around in front of cameras?
Oh,
They
yeah.
did it on purpose. But yeah, he's in there.
Well, okay. I guess I'll let you go.
I appreciate it.
I could talk about...
That I could too for days, but but it's only because I studied,
Yeah.
and I just feel for them boys. And when I hear them lying, all I hear is another knife stab to it. It just bothers me so much. Some people play Candy Crush. Some people watch TV all the time. I do Darlie Routier.
And you do Darlie.
And if you look at my videos, you'll know the whole story.
When you first started telling me about that, I thought, no, that's not where they live because they have a bigger house and they bought a big
5801 Eagle Drive. And they had this house first. I know for a fact. That I do know. They didn't live there very long because he started making money real quick. And she wanted bigger, better.
Oh, yeah.
They had that
And that's
house.
why she got bigger boobs.
Well, in 90s, yeah. You notice they didn't get hurt in that attack? Neither did her face.
I know.
It was nice for her. This intruder was so lucky.
So shame.
All right, check this. This is what you have to believe. You have to believe that somebody was walking in the neighborhood looking for a house to break into. You see Darlie's house on the corner, which is not a good spot.
No.
Big old fence. And if you looked over the fence, the sliding glass, she was laying on the couch in the living room. TV was on. Strike one. I'm not going in there. TV's on.
Mm-hmm.
So if you get over the fence and you see that window open, they took pictures of the window, the big dog cage right there. And then there's a big cat thing right there. That's number two. If you're a thief, I ain't going in there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going in there because they alert. And her little Pomeranian dog,
He's a yapper.
he was upstairs that night for some reason. And
She probably planned that.
well, check this out. That dog snapped at Grant Jack, bit him.
No.
Well, so they had a neighbor come across to get him. And Darlie said, oh, I'm sorry about that. He always does that when strangers are around.
No.
Yeah, that was in court testimony. So she's down. They expected us to believe that the reason she was downstairs sleeping is because up in stairs the baby would move around in his crib and it would wake her up. Okay, but her boys,
Yeah.
the baby would wake her up.
Oh, yeah.
He would move around and wake her up.
Yeah.
So she just decided she was going to sleep down there, get her sleep. For a week she had been down there. And
She was preparing.
yeah, they expect us to believe that baby would wake her up, but somebody come in her house and give her 10 mortal wounds. She didn't see this intruder at all.
Yeah.
But-
I never knew the reason she was downstairs with him, but that is just...
It's so obviously a lie
Yes.
that somebody needs to put them in their place. And I'm going to do this till the day I die. They hate me.
They do.
Her Mama Darlie hates my guts. Her mom, oh, they hate me because I prove them wrong. And I told Mama Darlie, her mama, because we used to talk, and I told her, I said, I understand you don't want your daughter to die, no matter what she did. I understand that. I said, you need to look for a technicality instead of lying. Look for a court technicality. If you get her out on a technicality, like the court reporter messed up the transcripts, they held that up for 2 years. They keep saying, oh, them transcripts messed up, but they failed to tell people there was audio tapes of it.
Yeah, so but there were some mess ups.
There was a couple mess ups in that.
Yeah, but it still doesn't. Still, never once did I doubt that it wasn't her.
What do you consider a mess up in the case, if you remember?
I don't think I really remember.
Okay,
but I remember that there was a couple.
Well, I'll give you an example. When they carried the stuff out of the house, they put her bloody nightgown, all that stuff. They put it in one bag. There's footage of the guy with the bag setting that bag down on the ground and unlocking the car. That's cross-contaminated, but it didn't hurt anything.
Yeah, but wasn't there something found, a sock found in the alley,
like 75
4
yards.
or 5 days old?
No, they found it that night.
Oh, they did?
75 yards down the alley. And it had Devin and Damon's blood on it, but it didn't have any of Darlie's blood on it. So think about it like this. If they stab Devin and Damon, get their blood, and then they stab Darlie, there should be Darlie blood on there. There's none on there. That tells you that Darlie had it on her hand. There's none of Darlie's blood is on it. It should be. She had blood all over her.
And when she went at the kitchen sink, it was drop bloods.
Yes.
Drops of blood.
Okay. When they came in that night, the first statements that they gave, she didn't mention the sink. She didn't mention going to the sink. But when they got the house back a couple days later, she looked over and she saw that the Rowlett Police Department took the sink. That's where she cut her neck at. And she saw that she suddenly remembered, and Darren suddenly remembered too, that she was going over to that sink and wetting towels for him. She said, I came over and laid a towel on Damon, and I came over and, I was giving him towels, but when the police got there, there wasn't no towel on Damon. None of them saw a towel on Damon. So she had to explain why she was at the sink and why her blood was all over that sink. So she changed her story right off the bat. Mm-hmm. And they pretended like they had a wonderful marriage. Well, in 2002, Darren came back and wrote this affidavit, that they were had an argument that night, and his wife asked him for a separation. I wonder why they didn't say that at first. Mm-hmm. Because if two people fighting in the house, the kids come up dead, they know nobody came in there.
Yeah.
It's a very interesting case, but I dedicate myself to it. I don't want her to get out. They would be happy if she got out on a technicality, which isn't right. But I still.
How long has she already been in there now?
29 years.
29 years.
Yep, she's been here since February '97.
She's lucky. They still haven't taken her life.
Well, you ever heard of Carla Faye Tucker? Pickaxe. She was in there with Darlie. She pickaxed some guy to death.
No.
She got rehabilitated. I believe she was rehabilitated. The Pope tried to stop her execution, and Texas said, "Hell no, we're killing her." And that was one of Darlie's friends. So Darlie's seen it happen.
She needs to go. It's time.
Yeah, she's had more DNA testing done than any other Texas death row inmate in history, and it always points back to her. The thing that she's got going for is, I didn't do anything. It wasn't for little old me. She's that soft. She's charming, and she just doesn't.
Wolves.
Yeah.
And lamb. What is it? Wolves.
Well, see, I used to believe that she was innocent.
She's a lamb in wolves.
I used to believe she was innocent. I was friends with the family. I had a Facebook page pointing out why she was innocent, which now I feel stupid for it. But her mother, we had thousands of people in the group, but her mother would tell me something in private and change it up in public. So we noticed that Darren put up a Facebook page. So I hit Mama Darlie on Facebook, and I said, he's got a page up over here, and it doesn't say anything about the boys, anything about Darlie. And she said, hold on. She went over there and looked, and she goes, that pisses me off so bad. She goes, I always believe he had something to do with it, blah, blah. I said, yeah, that's why I thought she was innocent. I thought he did it. And so we go back into the groups, and we're talking about why we think she's innocent. And back then, you couldn't say, well, I think Darren did it, because they were still protecting him. And I said, to be honest with you, I think Darren did it. So they started to jump on me about, how dare you, blah, blah, blah. I said, look, I'm not the only one that thinks he did something over there. I said, because Mama Darlie thinks he did. And she popped in there and she said, I most certainly did not. We love him, blah, blah, blah. And so I took the message and I copied it and I stuck it in the group. I said, you're lying to everybody in this group right now because you just had this conversation with me. So that's what started me digging. And there's a bloody fingerprint that they couldn't identify in there. It's probably Damon's. Her mom got so mad at me. She came out in public. She said, I think that's your print, and I want your print for comparison to it. I said, I'll tell you what. I'll do that for you. I said, but if you're wrong, you need to give me $10,000. She dropped that shit real quick.
I bet she did.
But she hates my guts because I used to be as avid as I am for her guilt.
Yeah.
Oh, but I got to the point where people were arguing with me, and I'm like, you know what? They're kind of right. You know, this happened. You know, as a supporter, you don't have a leg to stand on because the facts are that she did it.
Yeah.
And so, but with her mom lying like that, her mom is a force to be reckoned with.
Well, you know, for the dad to want them to recognize and respond to her big breast was sickening.
He said, I got the most beautiful wife on the block. I got the biggest house on the block, and we were living large, and they targeted my wife. If you know the case, you'll know that night, if she was targeted, that night, Darren drove their sister home, her sister Dana. So he was gone for quite a while. Darlie was in there by herself. If somebody was scoping the house out, they would have saw that, and that'd been the best time to hit.
Yeah. Yeah, really?
Yeah, I mean,
I didn't know that either.
I can't see somebody just looking around,
No.
trying to creep, and there's a TV on.
And I can't see anyone coming in and wanting to attack the two little boys first. It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, Damon had 6 knife wounds to his back. Devin had 2 in his chest. Darren said he was holding his chest together and blowing in his chest.
I wonder how that little baby.
Drake is actually his name's Drake. He's 29. Yeah, he has to be. He lives in Denver. He's doing great. He doesn't come in and speak about it at all. He loves his mother no matter what, and I understand that. I understand. I've had family
He
members.
was too little. He wouldn't have remembered
7
anything, and he didn't probably remember his brothers either.
Yeah, he was only 7 months old.
Yeah.
So all he's heard is that people think his mom killed him, and he did come on one show, and they asked him, well, what do you think? He said, I love my mother. That's it. He said, I just love my mother. What's he supposed to think?
Well, since he was only 7 months old, that's understandable.
Yeah.
Well, good luck.
Well, it's nice talking to you.
You too.
The people in Texas are still friendly. I used to live in Houston and Katy.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody's friendly. I hope I get some luck. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. I hope you do too.
Yes, ma'am. So what I'm going to do now, this is the house on Bond Street that Darren and Darlie owned right before they bought the Eagle Drive house. They were running Testnet computer out of this house, and it was after Darren sold it. He sold it to a woman named Corinne Wells. And he came back over here and he was messing around with the screens. He was trying to see if the screens are cut over here. Place in the back. But this house is really nice too. So Darren would park right there probably. 4016 Bond. But he came back over here and he was kind of messing around with the screens on the house trying to see if they were cut. But they did run Tesnique out of here, out of the living, him and Beja and Darren. Darlie, they ran it out of here until he made enough money where he could buy that house on Eagle Drive. Now, one of these neighbors from across the street knew Darlie, and she still lives here, but I don't know which house it is. And I don't remember her name, but I'm going to do a dry knock and see what happens. First, I'm going to knock on the door at Bond Street and see what we can do there. I don't want to freak people out, though. Hello. I don't want to freak you out or nothing,
Uh-huh.
but I'm going to be walking back and forth around on the street.
Okay.
I'm taking footage of this house. You know who used to live here, don't you? Darren and Darlie Routier.
Okay.
Do you know who Darlie Routier is?
Yeah.
They used to live here. I'm doing a documentary about that. That's all. And I just wanted to let you know that I'll be on the.
Oh, okay.
Well, it's just polite.
Okay.
I can be on the street, but yeah, they ran their business out of here.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you. Sorry.
All right. Thanks.
She said maybe this lady over here may know them. That lady's like, okay, but the only way that you get any information is you dry knock it. I talked to that lady that's across the street over there for a good 45 minutes, and she knew the case. Everybody that I've talked to in Rowlett, at the bank, at the hotel, at restaurants, Rowlett knows she's guilty. Don't play that shit. But this is where Darren was messing around with the window screens over here. Now, I could very well not have knocked on the door, but I don't want people to wonder what the hell I'm doing with the camera out here. So I'm going to go up right there. That's your cute little house. 4016 Bond Street. Do some dry knocking over here. I want to talk to that lady that knew Darlie. I don't want to bother anybody with this. They're in here, but they don't want to answer. I ain't gonna mess with them. Oh, is that your family?
Yeah, live, yeah.
Okay.
They called for you?
No.
Pamela. Who's Pamela?
No, but oh, you're from Lyft? Oh
Yes.
no. Oh, from this house?
Yes.
Oh no, I'm doing something totally different. I was just knocking on her door about something else.
Oh,
When she
Pamela
come
is
out.
here.
Okay. I was gonna ask, how long you guys lived in that house?
A very long time.
Well, you know the Darlie Routier story out here?
Who?
Darlie Routier killed her kid. Yeah, all right, never mind. I don't want to bother you. That's why I was knocking on your door. That lady knew them. I'm sorry.
Oh, my grandma did?
I think so. I'm all over it, man. So just imagine Darlie and Darren, Beja in here doing their little computer stuff. Look it up on Reddit, 4016 Bond Street in Rowlett, Texas. Now she told me that this lady over here with the lawn furniture might know Darlie. Beverly Stockdale, Shipdale, something like that. I wish I had the name. I could look it up and go right to the house. I wasn't planning on coming over here. I just don't want people to freak out on me. You guys are getting this raw, so if somebody freaks out on me, it'll be funny, but I'm filming it. I don't want to get chewed up by nobody's dog either. Well, hi there, buddy. You're handsome. Cute little dog. Hi. My name is BryanSt.John. I am. Did you know Darlie when she lived over there?
Who?
Darlie Routier.
That was many, many years ago.
You did know her?
Not really well.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm doing a documentary about her.
Oh, okay.
And one of the neighbors over here knew her really well, and they would share food and coming across the street.
You might try the people across the street.
But you did know that when they lived there, you're like one of the only ones around. That's,
Yeah, they are.
so you know the case?
Huh?
You know the whole case?
No, not really, but
Well, she killed her 2 kids,
yeah.
and she's guilty. I don't believe she's innocent, and that's what I'm doing. I'm doing a documentary on it, and I'm just dry knocking because I know that in the court records, she said something about being on Bond Street, kept going back across the street with one of these houses new, but all those are renters now, and you're an owner.
The people right across the street have lived there longer than I have.
Right there,
The Lyles.
the Lyles. All I can do is knock on the door. I know Texas is friendly. I'm sorry if I freaked you out. All right. She knew her, but it was a long time ago. She didn't have nothing to say about it. The Lyles. Next door to Darren and Darlie's old house. I give him a minute to answer. Tom Lyle. Hello. I hate to bother you. I'm doing a documentary about Darlie Routier.
Uh-huh.
They used to live next door here.
Yeah.
Did you know them?
No.
Okay. Sorry. Thank you. All right. Well, that's it for Bond Street. But at least we got to look at the house. Huh? Well, I did. That lady knew her. He knew her. Sometimes people don't want to talk. I said, "Did you know her?" He said, "Yep." I said, "Well, I'm doing a documentary about her." He said, "No, thank you." And that's all I can do.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if you look up the case, they used to live in your house.
No, I know.
You did know that?
Yeah, I didn't know until after we bought it.
Oh.
But
Did you buy it from Corinne Wells?
no,
Okay. Yeah, she had it after that. She died. I didn't know if you bought it from her or not.
no.
But Darren Routier came back to this house
Uh-huh.
and he was checking all the screens because there's a cut screen. Do you know the case?
I mean a little bit.
Yeah, well, he
I mean,
came
not
back-
very much.
Well, there was supposed to be somebody cut their screen and came in their house over on Eagle Drive.
Yeah.
And Darren Routier came back over here checking all these screens. The lady Corinne Wells ran him off. But he was talking about the big money deals they were going to get and everything else. But that's all I'm doing. I'm just doing a documentary. I don't mean to bother nobody.
Well, that's okay. I was gonna ask you where I can watch the documentary.
Well, my YouTube channel is BryanSt.John.
Oh.
BRY. I'm not politically correct. There's
Okay.
just F-bombs in there because it makes me so mad that these people lie. But everybody that I've talked to, I'm from Ohio, and everybody that I've talked to since I've been down here in Rowlett, she's guilty. They all know she's guilty. But thank you.
Okay.
You know. Yep.